That's right, Rich Swann. It's total nonstop impact talk for Impact fans right here. It is so eloquently said on the mug of from Alicia there. Thank you so much. How you doing tonight?
I am doing well. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. The cat is absolutely losing her ever loving mind in the other room, and she is locked out. And we're just going to go forward with this, you know.
She
Hopefully,
loved the episode.
hopefully she doesn't, throw herself off a porch or something. Jiminy Christmas.
Really?
We've got some super stickers and super chats in here we want to quickly recognize before we get off the ground here. Thank you, Punk, for the super sticker, and Courtney with the $20 super chat, hashtag Motor City Machine Guns versus hashtag Subculture. Also, hashtag sign Subculture. I don't think anybody would disagree with that. Absolutely.
Fair enough.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, let's get some. And hey, and tell the people who run the show. Tell them as well. I mean, yeah, some of them watch the show. Thank you for those of you from Impact that do quietly, secretively, whatever. It's like a secret society. Shh, don't tell anybody
Guilty
we watch the show.
Pleasure.
Yeah.
I doubt it.
It's
we live in a fantasy world, man.
right. And then of course they pay us, right? We work for Impact. That's what they all think. I'm kidding. Thank you, Anna, also for the super sticker. I think it was a fleeting goal for a while. That's all it was. So we got some usuals in the chat here. Great to see. Thank you so much. So as we get the show kicked off here, remember what to do. Smash that like button, smash that sub button, ring that bell for notifications. And first of all, apologies. We normally review the little pay-per-views in between the big ones, and it just didn't happen. It just didn't happen.
We all got legs, y'all.
Yeah. Right.
And it was a holiday weekend, so it makes it even tougher for all of us to link up our schedules.
Well, yeah, that and just yeah, exactly. It's how it is.
Great show, though. Right. If I could review it now, I'd say bon appetit.
Right. Yeah. Top to bottom, it was great. And I'll be honest, there were parts where I fell asleep during it, and you guys know me. I'm just right. I'm old. It's not because I don't dig the product.
Old in early hours.
Yeah, exactly. Like I watched the first third of it. I fell asleep during the middle part, and then woke up for the double, I guess you can call it like a double main event pretty much. Ronan Blue with the super chat. Happy Pride Month, TNI fam. Let's respect everyone. Hashtag one love. That's right.
Happy Pride Month.
Just you know what? Just and I preach that all the time. Just share a little love. It ain't that hard. We're all just bones underneath the skin. Something profound like that. There you go. So, hey, right, Anna right here says, I fell asleep watching today. I had to work Friday, right? It's life. Doesn't mean we
working
don't love
crazy hours lately, too. It's in the school year, man, so I'm busy.
Look, and I can drink 3 of these, and it finally gets to the point where your body's just like, you know what? We're just tapping out.
Yep.
But I do want to go over at least the results of the show and touch on what I did watch of it, because it does deserve to be talked about. And if we get a few more guys from the crew in here within the next half hour or so, we'll get their opinions on it too. let's go over the results here. Let me just quickly bring them up. And I went over some of this on yesterday's show with the Joker, TNI UK crew.
Joe.
Helping fill in over there. Oh, look at this. Shop Impact even has a Pride t-shirt for sale. And it says all shirt sales are donated to a charity here. So very cool. Very cool. Great to see. Great to see. Where in the hell are... Oh, I had to really scroll down here. Here we go. Full results from Under Siege. All right. Let's we can kind of jump around here. We don't have to go like start to finish exactly. I think what everybody really wants to talk about here, at least I do right off the bat, is that finish. My God.
That was the cleanest flaming table shot I think I've ever seen anyone take. That's why you wear a 3-piece suit, man, because you just slide like butter.
Right,
put everything out and what a champ that Scott D'Amore is.
It looks like the most horrific like flamage ever when you see flames like that. But we all know as soon as you hit it with something like a body or whatever, a body goes through the table, it goes out like that. But that's not to say it ain't hot. It's still hot.
The goal is for it to go out. The hope is for your clothes to not catch.
Right. And you could tell Scott was hurting there for a while. What a trooper. My goodness.
Listen. I doubt going through a table feels great, even if you're a trained professional. Without the flames. So with the flames, just make it extra spicy, I suppose.
Right. Make sure you get that haircut. Make sure that's, let's not get anything else that has to catch on fire. My God. Yes, Bison was in Greece drinking. Yeah, he kept saying Usos. I don't know if that's actually a Greek drink that's called Usos or something, but he kept saying he was drinking Usos, which just sounds funny. All we can hope is that it's some kind of goofy
Let's Google it.
Drink. Yeah.
Watch, I'll put Usos and it's the guys from...
Oh, of course, that's going to show up. Yeah. Hopefully there's a picture
Usos of drink.
Yeah. Well, put Greece drink or Greek drink or something. It sounds like it's got to be something that's ethnic there or something. Toasty buns, right, Zach? Totally.
Yeah, it's a drink.
It is a drink? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Bonus baby. Yeah, I did want to bring that up in the chat here. You're talking about the Denise Salcedo. Salcedo? I can't remember. Yeah, it's pronounced something like that. Denise. She was interviewing Courtney Rush.
Nice.
And a quick little interview. And what's funny is she was trying so hard to interview her like just you and I talking about stuff. But Courtney, God bless her, is still in character like 99% of the interview.
Yeah, that sounds about right for
just like Rosemary, like Courtney, she's like no selling this whole. Yeah, I haven't been around for 7 years, and God knows what Rosemary's been doing with my body this whole time. It's just like, oh my God, it's great. So go check it out. Yeah.
I want to say it was a long time ago, but wasn't there a storyline where we got the background of how Rosemary ended up in Courtney's body? Oh, I don't know. It's like when the whole Bram thing was going on. Do you remember? God, it was a long time ago.
Oh, that's when they were.
That's around when you started watching.
They were filming No, it was.
No.
I was back and forth around that time, but they were packing arenas in the UK around that time.
Yeah, I'm sure they will when they go back. I mean, they're just getting the hang of going outside of the country now that things are open and travel's a little more safer.
I don't know what's going on in the chat.
What?
Something about a dead cat? What?
Huh?
I don't know. It's just funny. I'm just going to ignore the chat for a bit. Yeah, Zach says Uso is a drink. Yeah. So, yeah. Props to Bison. Hope he's having a safe time over there.
I'm sure he is. He's in Greece.
Yeah. Bison.
Lucky. Hello. That sounds so cool.
Bison getting bombed. Here's
Comes the Parthenon.
Super chat from Bell's Boy. Thank you, Alicia and J-Bone, holding it down for TNI. Do y'all see Nick Aldis or somebody else winning the 8-4-1 match? Happy Pride Day. Yes,
happy Pride Month.
Off.
I don't know. What is the 8-4-1 match? I feel like
let's go over that quick, and then let's go back to Under Siege here. The 8-4-1 match, it's actually something like I feel it's been done before, but I don't know if it's been actually called this. So the 8-4-1 match is like this. You've got a 4-on-4, okay? It's a tag match. So you got Bully, Gresham. Is that Heath? I'm looking at the picture here, and Aldis versus Moose. Pardon me, Speedball, Swann, and PCO. Oh, this is gonna be insane. And then the winner of that 4v4 turns into a fatal 4-way, and the winner of the fatal 4-way will be the number one contender to go on to the face Macklin at Slammiversary. So you got to look at these, individual sides here and be like, okay, who do I see? Bully was certainly throwing his hat in the ring today. Aldis has already thrown his hat in the ring. You got Gresham and Heath on there. The other side, you got some contenders. You got Moose. Speedball's having a hell of a year. Swann he's always grinding, and PCO, well, goddamn, he's not human. So that's gonna be absolutely crazy. I'm guessing it's gonna be the main event. So all right. It could be anyone, but it's looking like it could certainly be more in the hands of someone like Moose, Aldis, or Bully, if you ask me.
Right.
So, all right, back to Under Siege. What happened to Scott D'Amore obviously was insane. We had the return of Bully, but that match, my God, that match of PCO and Macklin was an absolute bloodbath. And for those who are asking, yes, he was busted open the hard way because PCO hit him with the it was a cookie sheet or something, and that cookie sheet was basically wrapped around Macklin's head. He hit him hard.
He was squirting blood.
Yeah, just looking at the mat at the end when Scott D'Amore was just standing in the ring by himself before Bully showed up, looked like a damn crime scene. It was ridiculous. It was a little hard to watch at times. I'm not gonna lie. That might be one of the most bloody matches I've ever seen in wrestling. It's gonna be up there, definitely.
It was pretty wild. definitely
Was it you get into a lot of deathmatch stuff. How was that for you?
It was fine. I mean, there was enough blood. It's nothing I haven't seen on a Saturday afternoon.
This is true. This is true. So,
I'm like immune to that stuff, I feel like. But I'm very squeamish during horror movies. Isn't that funny?
Oh, that's interesting. All right, so now here's the true test. And I've probably asked you this before. How are you at the doctor's office giving blood?
I've never given blood, but I'm sure I'd be fine.
Oh, that's interesting. All right.
I'm not like scared and squeamish and stuff like that.
All right. We've got a truck joining us. How you
doing?
Hey guys, how's it going?
I feel like I gotta go like that because then you gotta go beep beep.
you gotta hit my nose to get me to do that, though.
Okay. Duly noted.
Holding it down for the Impact Canadian fans up there. Hey?
All two of us.
I'm laughing at the private chat. Greetings, sluts.
I just read that too. That's so funny.
I just want to let you know I am a retired slut.
Never had a hoe phase.
I turned in that card a long time ago.
Really? Yeah, man.
I don't like people enough to have a hoe face.
I don't either, but I'm
lucky. This one's lucky he even bagged me. Jesus. Like, if people don't underestimate my ability to love being alone. I can entertain myself. I didn't have a face.
Mrs. Truck actually chased me around. I didn't even know she was interested. That's how oblivious I am. She had to chase me down.
You know,
put you in the old chokehold.
Yeah, basically, yes. I was completely oblivious.
I like you.
Some guys are like that. Some guys just don't get it, and I was a little like that, but I went after Mrs. Bone, so. She found out pretty quick. I felt pretty hard for her. Felt pretty hard. So, Truck, how you been, man?
Good. Yeah.
Good.
Summer's finally here in full swing. Baseball started again. It's a good time.
Hey.
Hell yeah. Time. So,
people
what did you
to go to places for work, which is always nice.
We're in the process of kind of going through Under Siege right now. What did you think of that main event?
See, that's bait because you already know what I think. I lasted like 5 minutes. It was a good match from what I heard. It was too bloody for me, but I heard it was a really good match.
Too bloody for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, not judging, bro. Not judging, because I tell you what, because I was about 10 minutes behind everyone else, and I saw the chat, and it was like I could see the reactions, like oh God, like what's happening, and then I saw it. It was like, oh jeez.
Yeah, it wasn't just the blood; it was the spurting that did it. It was the spurting. Like, okay. And at one point, I don't know if anybody noticed this. At one point, he accidentally, I hope it was accidentally, spurts into PCO's mouth. Right?
I saw that.
I'm done.
Like a drinking fountain. It was terrible.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah, because he was like standing over him. Yeah.
It was when he was doing the stapling bit, stapling his mouth shut.
He stapled his lips. And then not just that, it's like you couldn't even see him at first. That was a crazy
PCO
part.
made sure you did see it when he starts ripping them out himself.
Excuse me.
Ugh.
Wait,
staples are gnarly.
He's walking around at the camera like, it's like, oh, was he? Well, he's always faking really good. That's what I was thinking. And then he went and got the pliers, and they zoomed up on his mouth, like, his mouth is like right here, and he's just, pluck, and I was like,
ugh.
Oh, it was actually what? It was for Impact Wrestling. That was a lot because Because we've seen, like, for perfect example, Callihan, Eddie Edwards.
Yeah.
They've had some pretty gnarly wars. Not like this. This was, Bell's Boy here with a super chat. Thank you very much, brother. Says Truck President / CEO of the Nick Aldis fan club. Good to see you, eh?
That's true. I will accept that title. I'm a pretty big Nick Aldis fan.
You're part of the Canadian chapter of the fan club?
Yep.
From what I hear. Awesome. How's that going for you?
Good. Yeah, we just had our first meeting last night. I'm president, vice president, chair, and secretary, and treasurer. So we could read some more members, basically, is what I'm saying. If anybody's free, third Wednesday of every month. Come on by. I'll make pizza bagels.
Oh, Souls. I'm not even a big fan, but if there's pizza bagels, well, golly, if you're going to twist my arm.
Tell me to reel them in.
That's absolutely going to reel in some people for that next meeting. Come on.
It concerns me. I've never joined a cult. If it's that easy, well, I'm like, well, if there's pizza bagels, shit.
Oh, man. So, yeah, that main event was pretty gnarly. But I did enjoy it. For what it's worth, and then it just if you thought it was over, no, the president got as someone put in the chat earlier, hashtag extra crispy, president or whatever they put. We like our Scott D'Amore extra crispy. So another great match. We're kind of going backwards here, but that's fine. It's neither here nor there. Deonna Purrazzo beat Jordynne Grace. Quick thoughts on this, anyone?
It was a definitely good match. These two put on slammers. But it leaves us with the question, is Jordynne sticking around and turning heel, or is she on to other pastures?
I think tonight, and we'll get into more of this in a little bit when we go over tonight's episode a little more, but I feel like they kind of wrote her off tonight. I mean, news did come out that she was stepping away, but, you got to take some of that with a grain of salt because you never know the timing of contracts and what everyone wants to do outside of professional wrestling. And yeah, TJ in the chat here is talking about bodybuilding. That is something that she has absolutely embraced and is doing very well. So, hey, if she wants to step away and give her body a rest and focus on something else in that field, hey, tremendous, absolutely tremendous. I think it's amazing. I'm here for it, totally. But yeah, the match was great. She left. It was very emotional end of the match there. I'll tell you that finish though, my God. The Queen's, what is it called? The Queen's Gambit off the top rope. Holy crap.
Sick.
Yeah, sick.
Not to take a line from Miss JesSICKa, but
no, that's fine. And hey, you know what? That's a perfect segue. Let's talk about that. What did you guys think about Courtney Rush's in-ring debut? For those listening on audio, I'm using my quote fingers there because tagging with JesSICKa for the first time on TV. What'd you think?
I'm really excited. I'm really happy for her. It's going to be an opportunity to do something completely fresh to us, at least. I'm really excited to see what she does with it.
She's going to play off of JesSICKa really well under this. So
yeah, that stood out immediately. They've got great rapport, great back and forth.
Exactly.
Yeah, the fact that she's playing it up, that she's been like gone from the plane of existence for 7 years, give or take a little, and that Rosemary's been running the show. That's just a trip right there. It's like, what?
If Sue can be 3 different people, Rosemary should be too. Rosemary should be at least two.
Oh, and she's the way that, and I've said this multiple times, but it bears repeating. The fact that Rosemary has evolved nonstop, consistently, and has done it well. Some people try to evolve their character and it goes, sometimes it doesn't come across great.
Right.
Rosemary's done it well every time, and even coming back from injury a few years ago. And this whole new chapter that she's starting now is very exciting. So, and the fact that they beat the tag champs, now they're going to get a shot at those the Knockouts tag titles next week, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
The titles are coming back to the Death Dollz.
Oh, I think so. But, even if they're not, I'm excited for this whole new chapter.
It's going to be a good match. Yeah.
For, I don't want to assume anything. I preach that all the time. You can never assume. But, because I'm actually really enjoying Taylor Wilde and KiLynn King as Knockouts tag champs. It's something, it's fresh. You know what I mean? Let's see what else we got here. Scrolling up here. Oh, pardon me. So yeah, Alex Shelley is the new number one contender. He is going to be facing Macklin a week from tomorrow. And
nice.
against all odds. Now, I'll admit this is a match I missed this one, and I believe it was the tag titles and the X Division match I missed. So yeah, some of these I missed, unfortunately. So like tonight when I was watching Subculture was actually the first time I saw them. I missed them during the show. But hey, it's neither here nor there. Thoughts on Alex Shelley winning? I mean, this one could have went a few different ways. What do you think?
Okay. Sorry, repeat yourself.
Oh, just thoughts on Alex Shelley being the number one contender.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought you said. Sorry, I misheard you. I think it's good, and I feel like they're building towards it with what happened in the beginning of tonight's show, with Bully Ray addressing him over Sabin. So, keep the eye out, see what's going on with all that.
Yeah, and we saw Shelley go against Josh Alexander, but this is a completely different beast.
Yes.
Shelley was my pick to win that one. I thought it was either going to be him or Kaz. Yeah, and I was leaning more towards him, so I was pleased to see him get it. I think the match itself is going to be exceptional. And I think, too, it's a little bit of an opportunity for him to prove that, we talk about Sabin a lot in solo conversation because he had this phenomenal run during the pandemic where, there was a couple of points where it looked like he might actually get the title, and it would have been totally plausible. He was just firing so hot.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
I think this is an opportunity for Shelley to prove that he should be in that conversation too, whether or not he actually gets the title.
Agreed.
Yeah. You guys crack me up. Critical Sting here. J-Bone doing himself a disservice not seeing ABC and Subculture. I am going to watch the match, okay? I'm going to
He doesn't watch wrestling. He doesn't watch any of this. None of it. He doesn't watch any of it.
I fake. I just run this. I fake it all. I
just read the reviews.
Yeah, he reads Meltzer. That's all he reads.
Right, and I throw it to them, because they're gonna answer all the hard hitting questions.
We actually watch it.
Right. Yeah, I don't. Guys, I watched so much wrestling this last weekend. My head was spinning. I watched Under Siege. I watched the next night. Or the next, midday, I watched Night of Champions. See how he keeps
changing his story? His story's changed 3 times in one sentence. Can you trust him? I don't know.
Yeah, it's from all the medication I'm on. Yeah, it's like my head falls off.
There's another change in the story. There's no change in story. It's always something with this guy.
It's excuses. Like my wife says, excuses. Sunday, I watched Double or Nothing. So it's like, yeah, I watch a ton of stuff. And, some of it I just not off to, It's just the way my brain is. I'm an old fart. Give me a break. What about, look at these guys. What a mark. Excuse me, my name is J-Bone, not Mark. Anyways, we continue.
James. It's Mr. Bone to most people.
Yes, Professor Boneski. Let's see here. Trinity beats Giselle. That match was absolute fire. I love what Trinity has been doing. No squash matches. She has proven herself match after match after match that she's not just the rear. What was it? The rear view. She's not just the rear view. No, she's had like 3 matches now, and made all her opponents tap out. That says something. That's amazing. I think. What do you guys think?
She's just always been really talented, and here she's actually able to showcase what she's got without being limited and held back. So good for her. I'm all for it, and I like the track that this is on. Might be a little soon, but I'm whatever. It's all good.
Right? Yeah. We found out tonight that she is going to be facing Deanna Purrazzo at the Slammiversary. I thought it was going to be next week, but no, we're going to get that tag match with all the knockouts.
Correct.
Duking it out. So, but yeah, the knockouts are killing it right now. There's so many little things going on.
I feel like we say that every week. The knockouts have been, will be, always killing it.
Oh yeah, and it evolves,
Well, it's because we're able to have an evolving and revolving roster, so we're always getting a mixture of people who you wouldn't expect to see in the ring with each other, and our knockouts are able to go above and beyond and have interesting characters and storylines and prominent parts on the show. So fuck yeah.
Time. Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, they definitely probably get more TV time than the guys at most. And it's just because I feel like it's a little more developed or something. I don't know. No knocking the guys, of course, but
they're not treated as an afterthought. They are a feature. Period.
For sure.
I wasn't counting minutes, but I wouldn't be surprised if they got at least half of the TV time, because you had 2 excellent matches that went for quite a while.
Sure.
Right. There's so much, and just going over what's going to happen at between the next 2 like pay-per-view ish type shows. I say ish because Against All Odds isn't really a pay-per-view. It is, but it's
a special. It's meaningful stuff happens at the specials, and that dog collar match. I see Sting get it up in the chat. That dog collar match has, to me, the chance of stealing the show altogether.
Oh yeah, and I was thank you. That's a perfect segue. I was just gonna add that to the knockouts conversation here. Critical Sting says the non-title feud is Killer Kelly and Masha. That's says enough right there. The fact that they've been just annihilating each other. I still say they're going to end up as a tag team, but I love this. They're going to have a dog collar match, for crying out loud. First ever knockouts dog collar match.
Gonna be brutal.
Oh, it's gonna be.
I hope not as brutal as what happened.
No water fountains
into each other's mouths, please. I don't.
Wait, hold on. Wait.
Alicia's got to have a second here. She's having flash.
I just need to not say anything.
She's having PTSD flashbacks from the pay-per-view. But yeah, she just had another one. But yeah, and that's one of those you said gimmick matches that we don't see all the time. Now here I'm going to bring up everyone's favorite wrestler that we saw one last year, MJF versus CM Punk, an absolute classic. Whether you love the guy or not, the match.
I didn't see it.
Oh, you got it. Okay.
Oh, I'm sure.
It was.
Oh,
It was built.
I gotta watch it.
You did.
I'm sorry. I'm just busting your balls here. I'm sorry. I'll take your word for it, but I'm still not going to watch it.
It was built as, well, I might change your mind. It was built as, because you know how MJF always compares himself to the classics.
Sure, yes, of course they do. Joe. Yeah, absolutely.
Better than the classics.
Oh, he's the best. Oh, and the bester. Oh, wait. Yeah, whatever. Fuck it. Yeah. The best and the bester. Mm-hmm.
Yes. He challenged him to the dog collar match, saying, "Oh, well, you think you're better than Piper? Well, then let's do, you know, I'm just paraphrasing here. Let's do, you know, the modern day version of Piper versus Valentine." And I was like, "Oh, that's amazing." And I've heard so much about this. I've yet to see it. I'm going to watch it. It's Starcade. In fact, somebody in the chat from the live reaction said Starcade 83. So, yeah, I'm actually going to take a chance and take some time, I should say, and watch that this weekend. But, yeah, so back to Impact, of course. I don't want to make this all about CM Punk or anything. I'll lose everybody.
Who?
But I'm just saying, a gimmick match like the dog collar match is something we don't see all the time. We saw one last year in another brand. This is a first ever knockouts dog collar match in this brand. I don't think there's ever been one before, ever in wrestling. Correct me if I'm wrong. There she is.
Things in the chat. He's going to.
She's Googling it right now. Critical Sting is going to race you to it.
He probably, because he's got photographic memory.
Oh, he is Wikipedia. His brain is cage.
Wait, it's the second ever if we're counting the Rosemary Sue Young Demon.
Shotzi Blackheart versus Dust. Sadika versus Black Widow. These are all in like Sadika is a deathmatch chick from Mexico.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so there's been quite a few.
Rosemary versus Sue Young. Okay, so I'm seeing some that was a strap match. Oh, James Storm versus EC3. Yeah, well, we're talking about
women.
The ladies, yes. But nonetheless, these two are gonna clobber the crap out of each other. And I can't wait.
Yeah. They're going to whip each other's butts, that's for sure.
Hell yeah. And at first it sounded like they were going to do it in a cage. I was like, oh my God. A dog collar match in a cage?
Ooh.
Let's just add to the chaos. The return of Jake Crist to Impact Wrestling. How exciting was this for you, Truck?
I'm glad to see him finally get to come back, and it looks like it might be on an ongoing basis because we saw him tonight. He was wearing the OVE gear, pardon me. And he's in this match apparently Against All Odds, so he's around for a while at least, which is good for him. He put a lot of work into rebuilding and rebranding himself. After
we're gonna have another surprise.
Yeah. I think we can all guess what that one's going to be, just based on the way Sami set it up. We might, be swerved, but so yeah, I'm happy for him. I'm glad to see him back. He's put a lot of work in.
The doctor's calling the monster. Alicia, your thoughts on Jake Crist showing up?
Well, he was one of my guesses, and I'm happy to see I was right. I think it's awesome. He never should have left. I still stand on that. And so whenever, I mean, we got him for one night a while back, and that was great. But to see him 2 times now, or 3 times now altogether, but more frequently, I hope he's a little more of a permanent fixture.
Oh yeah, yeah, and yeah, there's the chat's already going nuts. Not Dave. No, Dave is not coming back. No, and yeah, I'm right there with you. It's Jake never should have been gone, but you know what? It had to happen for Jake to become.
He evolved, dude. He really killed it.
That's the thing. This was a bad thing that happened. He turned it into an opportunity.
He got in amazing shape. He's killing it on the independents. Like, yeah,
he's
good
sober.
for Jake.
Yeah. Props to him.
Well, I kudos to anyone who gets sober and does the sobriety thing. Like, that's strong, especially if you're going through it. Right. There's nothing wrong with that, and it's awesome.
Yeah. He completely transformed himself. Used the pandemic to do that, and he's even having matches in Sami's company, against guys by the likes of John Moxley. Hello, that's an instant classic. Jeez Louise. So yeah, they were saying on the commentary here. I'm just going off of what people are saying in the chat here, saying that Hannafin said that OVE is back. That's pretty cool. Now Swann, I'm kind of going back and forth between the pay-per-view and tonight's show, but so Swann's not going to be able to help them at this next show. They're calling the monster in. Man, how soon till we get some OVE gear? It's been a while.
I can dust off my old ones.
Right.
The logos.
Well, they've obviously got new ones because, like Swann, the sticker on his hat was fresh. So that was a brand new hat. So it's
I missed it.
Yeah, it stood out to me because he hadn't broken the brim or anything. It looked like he just took it off the merch stand.
Wow, I'm wondering if that was new merch for that event, or if that was an old one that maybe Sami had and gave it to Swann for the show. Who knows? But they're gonna have some new gear coming up. So but yeah, and it also looks like Fulton's coming back, who is that's gonna be the monster. I'm excited for Fulton. You guys miss Fulton?
I had a feeling he was coming too. He was my other guess.
There you go. Jake had an OVE hat on too, same as Swann's. Okay, yeah, then maybe that is something that's gonna, come out in Callihan's merch site or something. Who knows? Impact, shopimpact.com. It'll happen, hopefully. So all right, what's next here? Aldis beat Kenny King. That was fun. Some of these I'm just going to kind of breeze over.
Because we're 38 minutes deep and we're doing a review for a different show.
Well, and
that I'm foggy on.
we've been kind of bouncing back and forth, so that's okay. It's all right.
Well, it gets confusing.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to confuse.
It's okay.
I confuse myself.
We'll get through it.
I just want the rest of the crew to feel how I feel every day,
ASMR hands. Just get to the point.
All right, so there is no point. So all right, so yeah, we'll start with the episode here for for tonight. We can kind of breeze through some of this. It went pretty quick. This tonight's episode. Iceman Intel from BTI mentioned that Scott D'Amore is taking some time off. Boy, he's really taken some time off lately. Jeez Louise. He has a damn good excuse this time, though. So, and he wrapped up the statement by saying, "Will the inmates run the asylum?" It's like, oh, there's a throwback to the NWA TNA days, and I think it was a reference to Bully Ray / the Champ doing some stuff. We saw a little bit of that tonight in that opening segment, but nonetheless, Brian Myers beat Tyler Torva. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right on the BTI match. That Tyler Torva, from what I heard in the live reaction chat, is a local guy from Ontario, and it seems like he's pretty popular, and he almost got the win too. So yeah, I'm seeing some chat here about Moose. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't believe any of that until you hear something official from some, decent source as far as, contracts and stuff like that. We touch on that here and there, but I'm not gonna give that too much time tonight. All right, so Brian Myers beats Tyler Torva.
Oh,
and we have an addition to the show, Bill via satellite.
How's it going?
Satellite. Uh-oh. Are you on your phone, bro?
I am on my phone.
That's all right.
Close to being fully back. Actually, I have some stuff coming. I'm redoing the home studio, so I think for next Thursday. Not that Brutus Boot Camp will be going away anytime soon, but a new setup, different room of the house and everything. So hopefully for next Thursday, unless I get crazy and leave for Ohio early for a show on Thursday. But we'll see what happens.
All right. Nice. Well, glad you could join us. We just pretty much wrapped up stuff on Under Siege. I don't want to leave you out of the conversation. Real quick, you want to list a highlight from that show, especially you being there. I'm guessing you're going to talk about Steve Macklin or anything else.
Yeah, like it's tough not to talk about that main event.
Sorry, Alicia.
There was.
fine. I'm looking at the chat.
Okay.
Yeah. Alicia was at XPW that same night.
I was busy getting hit with glass.
Saturday.
Sorry,
guys. That was the next night. I guess Saturday night. That was Saturday night.
Dear God.
So I don't think she'll bat an eye on what we saw there, but that was definitely, I think Macklin has already done a lot to kind of get to that top spot as world champion. But if that match doesn't kind of elevate him to that level, now it's not for everybody, for sure. But what he did in that match for what you're looking for, he showed another side of himself, and obviously that was about as violent as a match. Like that goes back to the heyday of TNA, like the bloodiest brawls. Like it's tough to really say something. So, and obviously with PCO, who always brings it to a level like that, he brought the best out of Macklin. And honestly, I know not everybody will be a fan of this comparison, but Josh Alexander versus Bully Ray at Hard to Kill, similar. Like it had that similar vibe that really kind of elevated Josh in a different way.
Okay.
Because Josh had great matches, but he never did that hardcore war bloody mess that he did with Bully. So it kind of gave him another level of credence as a champion. And I think that's what Macklin got here. So once again, there were some other great matches on Under Siege. It was a very good card, but that main event really stood out because I know I was talking to people as we're watching the show, and it's like, could the Knockouts main event again? Like, because we didn't know what match was going on last.
Right.
And if you gave me Jordynne Grace versus Deonna again as a main event, no one would have batted an eye at it. So, and that once again was another fantastic match. So, but that Macklin and Macklin needed that match because of the whole way the world title came to be and not beating Josh. He didn't have his moment. I think he finally had his moment. So that's my major takeaway.
Yeah. And Jake Crist showing up.
That was great to see. And I know getting into tonight's show, like the OVE, they weren't really focused a lot on OVE during the match, but they came out with the hats, obviously. So I was waiting to hear a bunch of everything, but it didn't happen yet. So, but the whole OVE concept, great to see it return, especially obviously they're going to be in Ohio next week.
Oh yeah, that's home turf right there. Now for the show tonight they had OVE hats on. Was that something that was at the merch table, or was that something
not
that
at the merch table?
Okay.
Yeah, so that's something obviously they brought, but if they don't have OVE merchandise in Ohio, missed opportunity. So hopefully, Jeff, you're on it.
Well, yeah, and I know everyone's wondering if Jay Crist is actually sticking around. I hope the hell he does it. And now all of a sudden it looks like we're getting Fulton back too,
which would be very cool. Like definitely it's always tough to tell with Impact because I know everyone always wants to know where people signed or not, but it feels like if they're working within a storyline like this and they're going to Ohio, it feels like at least they have some type of agreement, maybe a handshake deal, maybe an actual 6-month contract, which we kind of knows a lot of the standard practice they go through. So that wouldn't shock me at all. But it's good because obviously we know the whole situation with Jake. He kind of just fell into a lot of just real bad luck, if you will, with how he got derailed really in Impact through no fault of his own. So, and seeing him now, to see from what he was during early OVE, like the shape he's in now, that's another one. Like we always talk about Jordynne Grace and that transformation she made. Same thing, obviously, Jake Crist, and he invested in himself, and it's very good to see him.
Yeah. So yeah, it's great to see Jake back. I hope it's for a good amount of time. Getting Fulton back. I'm certainly not going to complain about that either. We'll see. It's a revised version of OVE, changed around a little bit. It looks like Swann's going to be in the mix, as opposed to Jake's brother. So hey, no complaints there. They're all family. They all got a lot.
And that's the thing. OVE, you can do that. Like just same thing with the Rascals. They had multiple members. Any big group can have multiple members, but you still have the base. Obviously, Sami. And like as long as you have Sami, you go from there. And obviously, the return of the Chris Cutter. Yeah, you can't go wrong.
Yeah. So, yeah. All right, so moving on here to tonight's show. Bully Ray cutting the promo. Macklin comes out. What'd you guys think about it? And this was a little long-winded because of the Motor City Machine Guns came out, and then Subculture came out as well. This went about 20 minutes. I'll tell you, the most interesting part of this for me was Bully interacting with Macklin, because when they were putting Scott through the table, they seemed pretty tight, but tonight seemed to pull back a few more layers of something else developing between the two, with some, Bully wanting to actually go after the title. Truck, what'd you think of this?
Oops. I won't be negative. I don't think Macklin needs Bully at all. I don't understand why Bully is taking up space on a television program in the main event scene again in 2023. I don't want him here at all. Period. That's my interpretation. Right. I'm really happy. I think Steve is a great champion. He's a great wrestler. He's a great performer. He's proven to be a really good talker, which I was not expecting at all.
He's a throwback.
I don't think he needs anybody in his corner hyping him up. I understand that they want to put obstacles in his way so that they can give Josh as much time as possible to recover before that match happens. But for me, Aldis being the next obstacle on that trail is a hell of a lot more interesting than Bully Ray.
Right.
So yeah, that was my reaction when we start off with Bully Ray addresses his enemies. I was like, oh Christ. I'll watch it because I know that I'm joining you guys tonight. But if I wasn't on the review with you guys tonight, I wouldn't have bothered. I would have skipped the first 20 minutes.
Oh no, you're not going to hurt our feelings by any means. It's all subjective. We can all have different views.
Don't you know who he is?
I don't care, Bill. I don't care.
That's exactly what I said during the live reaction, and I actually beat him to it. It was funny. I'm like, yep, see, there you go. Yes,
ECW was 20 years ago, guys. I don't give a shit how many tables you broke. You're in your 50s, man. Come on. I'm serious. He's in his early 50s. Come on. You want me to take you seriously as a challenger to the world title?
I have a feeling that might not be the direction it's going. Unless it's one to put Macklin over, which I think I said in the chat, I don't really see if he really needs the help in that aspect. But if I see what I got from this, especially once the Motor City Machine Guns came out, is that they're teaming up. They have a weird relationship, a situationship per se. And Bully seems to be targeting Alex as if to kind of lure him over to the dark side. And they've teased it in the past. Shelly going rogue against Sabin. So who knows? Maybe we'll see something evolve out of this. Granted, Bully's not my favorite. I agree with a lot of the things you're saying, Truck, but for some reason I'm getting the vibe that they might be going in a different direction with that.
I agree with you and the reason I say that is because I noticed that 8-4-1 match, Bully and Aldis are on the same team, which means that they're going to wind up in the 4-way, which means Aldis can still win and be the next person to challenge. So I think that's what's going to happen in that match. But I don't like even the implication that this guy is in the main event scene.
Yeah. Touche.
I'm laughing because I'm seeing a lot of yeps in the in the chat. That's a la Motor City Machine Guns. Like, is that all you got? And Shelly says, "Yep." Plain and simple. Oh man.
Well, what are your thoughts on this, Jay?
I was okay with it. It got a little, overdone. I felt, but it at least it took a slightly different twist as to what I was assuming was going to happen. I think never assume. I got to eat my own words there, because then it looked like Bully is actually going after Macklin, and I was like, whoa, wait a minute, So at least that there was that little twist to it. And of course, Motor City Machine Guns on, and I was distracted by Sabin's hair. I'm like,
I initially was also distracted by Sabin's hair.
I'm like, what's going on there? It's like it almost looked like the oh shit, what the hell movie was that? There's something about Mary had the giant thing sticking straight up. I'm like, what are we doing here? But if you haven't seen that movie, please go see it. It's a classic. And then Subculture comes out, which made it even more interesting because, I missed it during Under Siege. So tonight was actually the first time I saw them wrestling because I zonked during Under Siege during that couple matches. Amazing. amazing. I can't tell you how many times. If I had a nickel for every time I saw in the chat tonight between both shows, hashtag signed Subculture, I'd be a millionaire. They absolutely blew the roof off the place tonight.
They'd be a great addition. Great addition.
And I know this was done in Canada, and I have no clue like where. I know they were in NXT UK. Maybe Bill, maybe you can fill in some blanks here as far as, of course, I know they're from the UK, but now they're in, you know, if they are with Impact Wrestling, then got visas maybe. I'm
they have the whole thing. I won't act like I know that, but yeah, you do have the whole thing obviously with visas and all different kind of work permitting, and obviously work in Canada versus working US. So that's that. I guess that'll be interesting to see if we see them at all in Columbus. Obviously, if they're making their way to the States and Canada, but we know they are obviously making still quite a few more stops on the Canada tour, as we'll say. Speaking of the Canada tour, for anyone that doesn't know, the best brand of ketchup chip, Old Dutch.
Old Dutch ketchup. Not, I saw, what did I see in Target the other day? I saw a new one. I'm guessing it's just something for the summer. Doritos came out with a ketchup flavored Dorito, and I'm like,
they're nasty. Stefan got them. Oh, is that them? I just don't like ketchup, like the ketchup powder that they put on that stuff, because Stefan really likes ketchup ketchup chips too, and it's just not. It's
not
too
your cup of tea.
It's a weird
Trump,
taste.
we need your opinion on this. Can you listen to this, and are you okay? Because I consider that the national delicacy of Canada.
We have a very limited palate up here. In my defense and justification. So I would say, yes, you are correct.
Okay. All right. I think I am going to try those ketchup Doritos, though. I'm a sucker for trying new shit.
Now, it all depends. Some are more sweet, and some are more, like, have more of that vinegar, the ketchup and vinegar, and that's what they have. And that's kind of what makes them stand out, because the other brands I've had, they're good, but the vinegar on that. So it's almost like a combination of, like, a barbecue and a sour cream and vinegar type chip. They're
like a barbecue nacho cheese. The Dorito scale doesn't slide very far from Cool Ranch and nacho.
Well, I've had the guacamole ones. They're amazing.
That sounds good.
Oh, yeah. Very good. Very good. And if you can't find the actual guacamole ones, just buy the generic ones for like a store brand version.
Just dip them in guac.
Yeah. Well, guac on guac? Oh, mind blown there. Jeez.
I do like some guac.
Well, mind being blown, J-Bone, I will say, but I got to, once again, preface it. I'm an original ECW guy. So, Bully, obviously, I grew up with Bully.
Okay.
So, but I still think one of the best guys on the stick, a very good talker, no matter what. He can still go.
I'll give him that. I'll give him that.
Still go.
He's not boring.
And now, was it a long promo? Maybe too long? Bobby Fish might be able to make comments regarding how long this promo was, but it was a little too long.
Where's the lie?
Where's the lie?
Where's he?
So that I will have shade at Bobby Fish. But he once again, and as long as he doesn't overwhelm the main event scene, he can. I think as long as he's just being used to elevate, I think. With injuries and things going on right now, he can serve a role. He can serve a purpose. That's helpful.
Yeah.
But you always got to be careful. You give Bully too much, and it can go down quick. So, and I did like, because I'm obviously I think we're all fans of Chris Sabin. The interaction on their feud from 10 years ago, I was marking out for that.
Oh, yeah.
But that's who he beat for the world title.
Right. Yeah.
So that interaction, because you rarely hear about, occasionally they'll kind of throw in former world champion Chris Sabin, but you never really get much into it. So having them finally like kind of interacting since he's been back, that I enjoyed that, even though it was brief.
It was and then Macklin kind of cut it off because the bully was like, yeah, and I beat you a month later, and Macklin was like, all right. I just want to say thank you. It's a little late, but thank you, TJ, for the super chats. Says Truck, what? AEW brought back Sabu. They are hip / elite. That was retorting to your comments on Bully. So yeah, all the classics are coming back lately. Thank you, TJ. Who knows? Maybe Sabu will stop in Impact next for a cup of coffee. It'd be amazing.
I still think we get another return from Rob Van Dam.
Oh, we
as long as he brings Katie, that's fine.
Hey! Yes, if we get a Katie return, then okay.
I fucking miss her energy, bro. She's so much fun.
I'm sure the guys miss
I would,
else besides energy.
I'd be on board for both of that.
But I like her for her personality.
Yes.
Great
100%.
She's great.
Tremendous
personality. And I just want to say, the Rob Van Dam heel character he was doing in Impact briefly was so good and so underutilized.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because like he was like killing it, like ripping all those like the indie wrestlers on social media. Like he was doing great. Like he needed to bring even more of that to Impact, and we just saw it so briefly. But I think that could have been a whole new Rob Van Dam that could have really been a linchpin of the TV show.
Oh yeah.
And we'll always have the hot tub on Twitch.
Whipped cream, not shaving cream. Or shaving cream, not whipped cream, right? Little trick there. Jimmy Jacobs getting on TV again with Nick Aldis.
Only with Nick. I have it right here in my notes. Jimmy interviews Aldis. Is he Aldis's special interviewer?
Well, and someone even mentioned in the chat, which I didn't notice until someone brought it up, is they had Nick Aldis's very own mic wrap. Did you see that? It didn't say Impact on the mic. It said Nick Aldis, just like it did in the background, with the neon on the TV,
Curious.
Yeah, I remember somebody making a comment next to me in the crowd, noticing that. What was happening. Like, look at his mic.
Yeah, very interesting there. I'm not sure why they not sure why that's going, or if it's a special treatment or I don't want to nitpick it to death, but just very
He's a
interesting.
national treasure. This
is true. He is a national treasure. Former world champion. So yeah, multi-time world champion.
Main Event Mafia.
He was a part of that, wasn't he? That's right. Thank you, Justin Miller, for the super chat here. RVD is the reason why Impact has the viewer discretion advised. Not gonna argue with that.
They should have used shaving cream. I still stand on that.
Hey. Right.
Well, good thing that match with Macklin and PCO was on Under Siege, because if that was on TV, viewer discretion would have been advised even more.
Well,
you thought some of those previous matches were too hot for TV.
The BTI was actually black and whited out.
Really?
Yeah.
That doesn't shock me. It doesn't shock me because we've seen it before. Remember when we did the throwback shows? If there was even a hint of blood, even in a cover image, J-Bo, you got in trouble.
Oh, they said, oh, you can't. Yeah, and even if I changed the cover, it was like, nope, sorry, nope. So yeah, WWE does it all the time. If someone gets some color,
that's why they do it. They stop the match pretty much and get the crazy glue out.
Yeah, well, they certainly didn't glue up Steve Macklin.
That's still wild, man.
It is gross.
Like the only thing I can compare it to is if you saw European Vacation. with Chevy Chase, the Eric Idle character.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Where he's like riding the bike and he hits him and he just starts spraying blood everywhere. He's like, "Oh, it's okay. How's your trip?"
It's but a flesh wound or whatever he says. Yeah.
That's Monty Python.
Classic.
Monty Python.
Classic. Eddie Edwards versus Yuya Uemura. I was really hoping that Yuya would get a win here. Desperately in need of a win. Because he's really starting to prove himself. I think people are starting to pay attention to him. The crowd's starting to get behind him. What do you guys think?
I think they're going in the right direction with having Eddie get the win, especially in this case, having Alicia by his side as his ride or die. Hey. Yeah, it's like I feel like they turned him heel and seemed to go into a direction where it wasn't really showcasing them, whereas now I feel like they're getting a little bit of that push again after my crazy rant about Alicia. Yeah, it was an interesting match. Sorry for the other guy. but yeah, it's good. And then what it led into was interesting too, because Kaz essentially hit Eddie and flung Alicia like a sack of potatoes.
Oh yeah, like she jumped on his back, and I'm thinking he's gonna do something, and she's just gonna drop off of him. No, he I'm gonna say F5'd her, but he flung her right.
Yeah, essentially that's what happened.
So, he may not have meant to, because she.
It's like a child.
She's not the She's not the biggest. She's not the biggest.
Right.
But I'm 100%.
It could have been a lot worse.
It could have. But I'm 100% with Alicia on this. That I think Eddie did need to win this because I love the dynamic. I've said it before. All about valets and managers, and having Lish as the valet, and we kind of know Tommy Dreamer kind of took Eddie under his wing years ago, and he kind of had the crazy Eddie gimmick, but never, and there was some with Lish, but she was never kind of that full-time valet of like the old Tommy and Beulah angle, and seeing Lish take over more of that role and getting involved and helping him win matches as the ride or die, I think that's a great segue into Eddie developing and embracing a new character, and also getting Lish over more, which I think is, for Eddie Edwards, one of the longtime members of the roster. I think this is good for his character. So I think this just can elevate him back to that main event scene as a major player. So I 100% on board with this. And the more, and I know that's another one that, just like Bully and others, I think Lish goes both ways with people. I give me more Lish on TV. I'm a fan.
Oh, totally.
And obviously with Eddie, I'm a fan. Bring it on.
Yeah, and the fact that this was actually all meant to lead up to a thing with Kaz, I'm all for it. Eddie and Kaz, and they touched on it a couple weeks ago going into Under Siege, when they were doing the tag matches and such. It's like, oh, you're just, it's like, follow my lead. Oh, follow your lead.
Okay, Captain.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Captain Edwards. Right. So yeah, I'm all for this. I'm just still on riding a high of Kaz being back with Impact Wrestling. So in my opinion, he could do no wrong right now. It's like he doesn't have to go after the title, but this is all good. They're gonna make a classic out of it, I think. Callihan and Jake Crist versus Decay. Now, the match didn't last too long, but it's as good as the match was. It was short and sweet. The follow-up the aftermath of the match is what we're really going to be talking about here. Number one, all the mentions of OVE was, I think, pretty cool. The fact that they're actually giving it a name, a stable name right off the bat. Like Hannafin says, OVE is back. That means something right there.
Yeah.
Truck, what'd you think about this?
Beyond what you just said, the bit that stood out to me is that now that Courtney Rush is Courtney Rush, decay kind of isn't really a thing anymore. They still have an entrance video and they've got the music, but like, are Steve and Teruse just going to be left to their own devices now, sort of thing?
Yeah,
I'm worried for that. I like both of them. Yeah, they kind of have been.
There's still decay. It's just the knockouts chapter of it are going in a very different direction. So
yeah.
They're all still family. Like, they were just all in a promo recently before Courtney Rush. But go ahead.
What if?
Oh jeez.
Crazy Steve and Teruse go through the same thing. I'm just putting it out there.
I would love that. Because remember, Steve was the ringside interviewer during IPWF.
Super talented
most people,
actor.
And I didn't recognize him.
Most people had no clue that was him.
No, somebody had to point it out to me after the fact.
Same.
Yeah, Petticoat. Dexter Petticoat.
Something like that. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, they could do that. And even if Teruse doesn't want to lose the mask, just give him like a unicorn mask or something.
Put a unicorn horn on the thing.
Yeah.
the ball, uniball.
I just don't want them forgotten about because they're really good and I like both of them.
Yeah, I still get the vibes that they're really strong in the decay thing. But yeah, it was interesting.
I have a feeling if you throw a unicorn mask on Teruse, you'd get a response similar to this.
Well spoken. That is the equivalent of French poetry right there.
If
16th century.
If I could quote the waitress that was waiting on us in the the restaurant at 1:00 in the morning, no bueno, right there. That's what he'd be saying.
Oh boy, yeah. No me gusta.
Yeah, bless you. All right. Anyways,
although I will say this: if they're not going to go serious with the case, if they want to go slight comedy, I wouldn't be against Crazy Steve and Black Teruse becoming members of Swinger's Dungeon.
Oh,
I think they're better than that.
I think JesSICKa is better than that too, but he's still there.
That's a deep, damp hole in Impact Wrestling that very few people are brave enough to venture
Get
down.
Some new recruits for the dungeon. Let's not make Swinger
so
and
sweaty.
a joke. Let's get them more serious. Bring back the ball gags. Come on.
Oh God.
I forgot they were doing that.
That was
go all in.
What a riot.
Filth.
What a riot. Scary
we
stuff.
need more filth.
So I missed the segment following this match with Jake and Sami.
Oh, and Rich.
What did they talk about?
The Fulton.
Okay.
Yeah, it was okay. So when the design came out, attacked Jake and Sami, Swann came out after that, chased them away. He had the OVE hat on, had the chair, and that broke up everything. Well, Sami wasn't exactly thrilled that Swann showed up late to the party, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And it's like, look, I got this other stuff going on, and I'm sorry I was late, and I can't even be in the match with you at Against All Odds.
Right.
Because he's going to be in the 8-4-1 match on one of the teams. So, Callihan's like, well, then we just got to call them. The doctor's got to call the monster. So, So that's where that came from. And we started talking about Fulton coming back.
Right, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So
now I have better context of it. Yay.
Yes. And it would have been even better if Trent did it, but you get what you get with me, so I'm sorry. So
I was about to, but no. I was going to try, and I don't even want to do that to myself or Sami.
Don't hurt yourself.
Now, the only thing that could even beat that, but it's not Ohio related, but one more run from Wild Stallions with Sami, please. And for anyone not getting the reference of Wild Stallions, I'm not talking Bill and Ted. I'm talking Sami Callihan and Ken Shamrock.
And who?
Wild Stallions, yes. Wild Stallions.
Wild Stallions.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah. What is Shamrock?
Yeah, Sami and Ken Shamrock. You don't remember that?
Oh, Shamrock.
Yeah, the great technique that we only got briefly.
Very
Paquita.
Another friend.
Friend of the OVE family. Yeah, love Shamrock.
It is
love Shamrock. All right, so next we got Savannah Evans versus Trinity. This one was short but sweet. Not as long as some of the others that Trinity's been doing, but once again, beat her with the Starstruck. And what needs to be talked about, though, is the promo she cut afterwards. She calls out Deonna Purrazzo and Alicia. What did you think about her?
That's sweet that you just go right to me, assuming I actually saw this.
If you did not, I am sorry.
You always tend to go right to me for female matches, and like I always tell you, just pick someone else sometimes. It's a bit sexist, you know what I mean? Gentlemen first once in a while, right?
I just wanted
that way you can find out that I didn't see it.
I just wanted to prove that chivalry wasn't dead.
Oh boy, you just opened up Pandora's box. Chivalry is medieval battle etiquette. Romance, very small aspect of what is mostly war tactics and jousting. So no, chivalry is not dead.
I was more meaning like the opening the door for.
Yeah, no, it's not chivalry.
James, just stop.
We got to get you to medieval times.
Ask me about the match. Ask me about the promo.
Truck. What did you think about?
What did you think about the match, Truck?
Thank you. Didn't really pay attention. What I did want to talk about.
Oh, what a segue.
The bit with Grace just getting the absolute shit kicked out of her by Giselle, who I'm completely 100% smitten with. I hope she stays with us forever. That was brutal. Those were brutal. I don't know if you call those V triggers, those knees to the face, but I don't know if it was the camera angles or if they were actually just that snug. It looked like Giselle was trying to kill her. So, those were beautiful.
Hannafin gave it a name. It sounded like some French denouement, I believe is what he called it. And I was like, okay, here's a
something like that. Yeah, you're right.
Here's an easy way to remember that. Remember it as de no more, as in kicking your lights out, So denouement is the title of it, I guess, is the kick. So yeah, V trigger, denouement, whatever you want to call it. I called it a running kick.
Yeah. But another part of the reason I liked it so much is I don't want Giselle out of the mix at all. I want her right in there. I don't care if she just lost. Keep her in. She is so good in so many different ways. Keep her right in it. Especially if Grace is leaving and we're in a bit of a upheaval sort of phase. Keep things hot. Don't let it slow down at all.
Oh yeah. So Bill, what do you think about them writing off Jordynne Grace for now?
Yeah, that's always a tough thing. deciding how to do something like that. Obviously, we've seen it done various ways with Impact, where people get killed off sometimes, or alluded to, or get sent to prison, or obviously get injured in a way. So this one, like, I think for an injury, if it is an injury write-off for a period of time, I think Truck's 100% right. Like, it did look brutal from Giselle, so you can make it make sense for her to be gone for a while, and it does lay a foundation of an angle for a return from her. It's just the only thing that I guess got on me a little bit at the end of Under Siege. After that match, I thought we were going to get a turn, and it wasn't a turn, but it felt like maybe the brewing of a turn, and then this kind of ends that.
Yeah.
So I almost would have liked more of a write-off that could turn into a heel return if she came back.
Yeah.
In whatever time frame. But maybe that was thought about but got scrapped, because I think everybody's been waiting for a possible Jordan heel turn, and I feel like you got to start that over again.
Right.
So, but once again, not a huge deal. One thing I did think, because obviously Savannah was in the match with Trinity, and ringside, and I'll just call it, she kind of has a Mr. Hughes gimmick, like kind of I know she's kind of like the bodyguard and stuff, but it reminds me a lot of almost like Mr. Hughes from years ago. And I think she should wrestle more in that gimmick, because she was kind of wrestling as normal Savannah Evans, and which is fine, but if you're going to really play that gimmick of the bodyguard, I think you should wrestle like the bodyguard. It needs some slight adjustments, obviously, to what she's probably wearing ringside, but I think that would have just got more of that character over. That's kind of, it's so different.
It's funny you bring that up, Bill, because something that did stand out to me is in the splash graphics, she's wearing that sort of gear, and I thought that was indicative of the direction they want to go with her character. But then she comes out in the stuff that
that kind of threw me off.
Yeah. And it's a really good look for her. So if she wanted to go with it, I think.
I think it's a badass
so
look.
Intimidating.
Yes, I think that.
Yeah, she looks so intimidating.
So kind of like the Savannah we saw there was like, oh, that reminds me of Tasha and kind of that faction and group together, but not the one with Giselle and Jay. So that's the only thing. Once again, little nitpicking, but I think that would just be more for a character going forward.
I think that sort of thing is really important. Like, if you want the audience, if you want us to pick up immediately that this is same person, different character, that's a great way to do it, giving us all of those visual cues. And the fact that you bothered to put that together, the promo graphics, means that that's the way you want us to interpret things. So just, keep going with that, push that forward. I think it's a great look for her. Savannah, I know you're listening, so
Yeah, friend of the show. We had her on.
Yeah, friend of the show.
I was just gonna say, friend of the show. It's good match. I like where this went. Following this, the write off of Jordan Grace, and of course, this is going to lead to Trinity facing Deanna at Slammiversary, and the tag match at Against All Odds.
Yeah.
So that's they really ramped up this card quick. That's happening next Friday. We move on to Dani Luna of Subculture versus Jody Threat. This was I really enjoyed this. I've never seen Dani Luna wrestle before, and we're about 5 matches deep into seeing what Jody Threat's all about. She's been consistent with her wins. Bill, what'd you think of Dani Luna of Subculture out there?
Now this is, and I always enjoy this. This was someone I've never seen wrestle before, so I always enjoy seeing somebody I have not seen wrestle before. So, like, obviously, I saw her come out with Subculture, and I'm like, obviously, I could tell she looks like a wrestler. So seeing her then in a match, and then with Jody, it's like, okay, Jody's she's going through people, mainly locals, things like that. But then seeing her, okay, oh, all right, someone that's part of a group here doing something at Impact. Let's see what happens here. But I thought she did well. She did well in the match. Obviously, Jody came out on top, looked very good. Looked, we've said it before, like snug, intimidating. Like Jody was hard hitting in this match. I think a couple times I think she might be feeling it after this. This was not an easy match. So both of them I thought went back and forth pretty well. I could see. I hope to see her. I hope to see both of them continue to grow in Impact. I think we said it earlier with Subculture. I think all three of them have a good spot here. I think they add a nice dynamic, and you need. We keep kind of saying it. There obviously some trend. There's a whole change going on with the Knockouts division, especially if Jordan Grace is gone for a while. And
right.
Mickie James, we don't know when we'll see her again. I think maybe sooner rather than later, but changes. So getting some new names in here, and obviously we'll get into Knockouts tag and stuff like that. You do need some new names, new people, new factions, and this was a very impressive Impact debut for her. While Jody did not get hurt at all in this, Jody still looks like someone to watch out for in the Knockouts.
Right.
Well put.
Oh yeah. Alicia, any thoughts?
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say the same thing. This is my first time ever seeing one of her matches, and I think her and Jody really, really worked a smooth program in this match. I was impressed. I like her. I like her vibe. Impact loves our alternative girls, so
yeah.
So she fits right in.
Right. Anything that
they almost could be a tag team.
Yeah. Well, yeah. They all could if you really. They could start a faction.
They were saying that the different members of Subculture are actually in a band, and what they bring to
it's different themes of music. Yeah.
Exactly. And
genres.
Genres of music, and that Luna was the punk chapter of Subculture. So the fact that she was facing Jody Threat was actually, perfect.
Yeah,
there's a couple punks.
Right,
it's a couple punks tearing each other up in the pit.
That's right. So I hope they keep Subculture around. I hope it wasn't just a one-off for this taping, but we got to wait and see, But hey, like I said, let them know on social media. Hit up Impact. Let them know if you want to see them stick around. They can make it happen, Santino then talking to Joe Hendry here. And this turns into a whole Sheldon Jean comes out. Santino calls him Sheldon Jeans, which is, ranks right up there with Bobby Ray. So it sounds like Kenny King is vying for Sheldon Jean to face Joe Hendry, which I think is interesting.
Yeah.
Which kind of, bears a question of what we were, answers the questions of what we've been talking about. Like, all right, is Kenny King in this for himself, or is he actually mentoring Sheldon Jean? And I think we got the answer right here. It's very unselfish. He could have pushed Sheldon Jean aside and said, "Nah, I want that title," and he's bringing his boy up there.
Or if I could play devil's advocate.
Oh, sure.
What if he's just going through Sheldon? Sheldon or Shelton? I'm sorry.
I think it's Sheldon.
Okay, Sheldon. Using him as a means to an end. So it's hypothetically saying this guy wins the belt. Kenny King can come right in behind him and roll him up in an impromptu match and win the belt. Like, you know what I mean? And you wouldn't see it coming, right?
Well, it'd be better to see something like that than a finger poke of doom. So, yeah, it could go any direction.
Yeah. I feel like if that's the route they're going, I feel like they're being a little more serious with it, where it's not gonna be like okay, now you lay down and I'm gonna pin you train of thought. It's gonna be, I'm gonna stab you in the back because I'm Kenny King. That's what I do. Like,
right. If they're gonna go that route, it could be more of well, hey, if you get that title, you're gonna give me a shot, right?
It could also go that way too, because ego is a huge part of this guy's character.
Oh, sure.
So, and ego in a lot of these characters tends to overrule their normal way of existing. So, I could just see it. I could see it going many ways. Either way.
Yeah. So
it's good.
We'll see what happens. I don't know when exactly this is supposed to happen. If it's going to happen at Slammiversary, against all odds, we'll have
no rush.
Right. Because we've seen all sorts of stuff with Joe Hendry, and we didn't even see Dango tonight. So it's all over the place tonight. You know, you never know what you're going to get. So, yeah, Sheldon Jeans, we'll have to see. Gary, with the dad jokes all day, says he should team up with Levi Jeans. That's, you can see your way out now. That was horrible. Next, we got a promo, all in blood red, terrifying, beautiful, but terrifying. Killer Kelly talking about this upcoming match, the dog collar match. We already touched on this a little earlier, actually a lot earlier, but this is the promo that just really puts the bullet in the chamber that, hey, this is really happening now.
Time to dust off that Freddy Krueger gear.
It's right.
Get to work.
Right. And I had a feeling that maybe they were even going to do like a dog collar match in a inside of a cage, is almost what it sounded like from this promo, but I don't think that's what we're getting. I think it's just a dog collar match. Yeah. You don't want to gimmick it up too much, but it's going to be brutal. It's going to be great, especially if they keep everything in this blood red atmosphere. That's going to be a little scary. Truck, thoughts on this?
I said earlier on, I expect that it could steal the show. I'm really looking forward to it. It's kind of coming out of nowhere in the sense that it doesn't have a ton of build, but they have had little bits and pieces of this on at least every episode for like the last 3 weeks or so.
Yeah, they've been beating each other's asses through the audience, right?
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. So they're not getting like traditional promo time, is what I'm getting at, but they are building it. And both of these women had a reputation that suggests that they're going to bring a lot of intensity to this particular type of gimmick match, which is why I say, stealing the show, I think, is a real possibility. Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to it.
It's going to be Vince Russo versus Terry Funk all over again, and legend has it that they're still wrestling across the arena.
In some universe, yes. And it's like I said, it's a gimmick that we don't get all the time. If you watch a ton of different wrestling, the last one we got was last year. So hey, that's not a bad thing. I won't bring up where
Killer Kelly and Masha have probably the most vicious female gimmicks right now, where they're doing stuff the guys would do as far as whooping each other's asses. You know what I mean? So. It's nice. It's a nice evolving of the range women can play.
Right. It's almost like you see a Callihan in the background go, oh, phew, for once it's not me, It's, gosh.
I vote for light tubes during the match. I'm begging you, light tubes, please.
Woo!
You're sick. You're a sick person. You need help.
I do. I need holy water. The power of Christ compels me.
Sprinkle it heavily. But yeah, very excited for
this. Spurting into each other's mouths. That's what you tune in for.
Oh God.
So, God, then maybe I'm a little squeamish for a water fountain, a bloody water fountain.
You had to bring it up, Truck. I was, I wasn't going to go there.
You were going to go there. Like Macklin went
like Degrassi.
into PCO's mouth.
It went there.
What?
That's where it went.
You know what? I'm not even... Just keep moving on.
Yeah, because I don't even know.
Sometimes when I say something and you're about to go, wait, what? Yeah, just let it go. Just don't even say it out loud. Just move on. Like I never said anything because I don't. If you don't know what Degrassi is, I can't help you. It was on. It was even on in the 80s. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, I know what Degrassi is. I'm Canadian.
You do. You're Canadian. You know what the fuck Degrassi is. You know what's up.
Part of our cultural heritage.
I'm gonna have to Google this later. Apparently, okay. Main event time. This was a blast. We got Subculture, Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster versus Motor City Machine Guns. Like I said, this is actually the first time I was seeing Subculture because I nodded off occasionally during Under Siege. So making sure I stayed awake for this one. I did not want to miss this. They even called it a dream match before the bell even rung. What'd you guys think of this chaotic, beautiful mess of a tag team match?
Fast, very fast. I don't know if these guys have ever worked together before or not, but it felt really tight. It felt like this wasn't the first time that they were locking up. Maybe that's just a testament to their abilities. I don't know. But, like chemistry. You, Jay, I hope, yeah, instant rapport. I hope Subculture's not leaving. I've noticed, I don't think they've got a win yet, in all of their appearances so far.
No,
and with the way tapings work, they should get one more show. So I hope they stick around.
They lost to the tag champions at Under Siege, which was their debut of sorts. So then they lost tonight. But, I mean, the match was so good, it didn't even feel like a loss. Like I said, their chemistry was just... It was just...
natural. It felt really natural. Like Trek was saying, I don't know if they've been in the ring together before, but they act like they've been in 10 years worth of battles with each other. It's good.
And I want to include Dani Luna in this too when I say Subculture. Her match, she really impressed me. I hope she's sticking around. There were some things that she pulled off. I'm like, wow, that is a strong woman.
She's got a background in powerlifting from what I believe I don't remember who said it on the commentary, but
even before he said it, I'm like, man, that woman.
You got the vibe.
Yeah.
Right.
So I hope they all stick around, especially Dani.
Yeah. So
Dani fits right in, man.
Totally
100% does.
Totally impressed me all around. Like the stuff that Subculture was countering, like Flash Morgan Webster was countering moves of like Sabin, Mark Andrews countering stuff from Shelly, and out of nowhere you're like, oh, because we've seen a million Motor City Machine Gun matches. Once they start getting into some of those combos, you know what's coming. But then all of a sudden, Subculture starts countering all this stuff, and it's like, whoa, where'd they pull that out of? It's just, loss for Subculture. It felt like a win.
Yeah.
But it makes, like, in a tag, just the match by itself, it doesn't matter who wins this one, but Shelly's got to get the win here. He's the number one contender. That's the big picture here. So it is what it is. Any final thoughts on our little combo of Under Siege and tonight's show.
Well, the Under Siege review was, but this one, I felt like tonight's episode was pretty solid. Yeah, no complaints. It went by really fast. I always feel like it's good because then you're sucked in, so it feels like it goes by like a blink. You know what I mean? So
it flowed.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
So much that came out of Under Siege that didn't even get talked about on this show because there is so much going on right now, which I think is a really good thing. Like Sabin and Trey, I don't think they're done based on what happened at the special. Jay, you pointed out that Dango wasn't on, and I'm super eager to see where he goes next. I loved his Under Siege promo. That was so good. We've got even more stuff to go through before we get to the next pay-per-view /special / premium live event, whatever we're calling them these days. So Impact, I think, is really good right now. There's no soft spots. I complain about Bully, but even that, the guy's not going to stink up the room. So
right.
The fact that it's still surrounded by Macklin is still champ, and we're looking forward to Shelley facing him next weekend or next Friday, So in my opinion, that pretty much overshadowed Bully right there. It's like you're looking forward to the match. The match is going to be good. Bill, what did you think about? We can't go over everything you saw because there's still stuff that we haven't seen from the tapings. But as far as Under Siege and tonight's show,
well, I think with the monthly specials with Under Siege, it added to they just hit those live shows out of the park. Like they don't, not just the big four, but pretty much any live show they're hitting out of the park. And there was a lot of wrestling that weekend, and I think most unbiased people that watched all those shows will tell you if Under Siege was not the best show of the weekend, it was right there, that show of the weekend. Because I think the competition was probably NXT for the show with Under Siege. So depending on what you like and what you want to get out of it, because that main event could, as I said earlier, could turn some people off if you don't like if a bloody match is not your forte. If it is, that probably was your show of the weekend. So once and going into this show, I think.
Oh no!
Bill's turned. Bill's now at AEW stand.
The satellite feed has dropped. We'll have to look into that satellite company. Damn them to hell. But we got the gist of what he was talking about there. So that's I didn't want to turn this into a combo night, but that's what you got, folks. It is what it is. You gotta
just spring it on us.
You gotta Under Siege review plus stuff from tonight, which it's quite the mashup if you really looking at it.
Bet.
Because
half an Under Siege review.
Well, I skipped over a couple things. I tried to hit what I thought people were going to be talking about the most.
Facts. Factual.
Main event. All the ladies killed it in all their matches. And everything else I'm going to just watch on my own and
not fall asleep.
Back here. What's that?
And not fall asleep.
Oh, gosh,
I'm kidding. I kid.
No. I'll joke about it too because I'm like, damn, man, it all kicked my ass this weekend. I missed so much, but enjoyed so much at the same time. So
normalize having shows start at 2 p.m. That's what I say.
Yes.
I want to go to bed at a decent hour, and I want to still be enjoying the show at the end of the 3-hour mark, not dragging myself through it.
Right.
I love an afternoon show.
Yeah.
Even though I slept through half a night of Champions, so it's like, hey, whatever.
I'm sure you didn't miss much.
It was better.
Was it good?
It was better than. Put it this way, it was better than I thought it was going to be. Okay. Truck's choking. Sorry.
If you guys are watching via video, then you saw what just happened. But that was great. I finally got that reaction out of someone.
The soda out of the nose. Sorry, Truck. We love you. But yeah, it was crazy. There was so much this past weekend, and Under Siege was just a small part of it, but we loved it. Truck's still dying. You all right, bro?
I'm good. We went down the wrong pipe.
Oh, wrong. Okay, wrong pipe. So, but thank you, Truck, for joining us. Hopefully, we'll get Bill back next week with a better satellite feed. And Truck, you can join us whenever you want, bro. Don't feel like you gotta ask or whatever. You're part of the fam. You're more than welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Bill says in the chat, great show, and satellite went down. There you go, like I said. So, all right. So much love, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. You know what to do on your way out of here. If you're new to the show, please hit that sub button, hit that bell for notifications, and smash that like button. Everyone, it helps. It really does help a lot. Thank you, everyone, for all the tips tonight. Probably the most tips we've gotten in a long time. So thank you. It really does help keep the show on the road, if you will.
You're so thoughtful. Thank you.
Yeah, it really means a lot. Because we do this for fun, where we really try not to take ourselves too seriously, and it means the world. So, all right, much love, and if you want to see more of what I did, you can check out yesterday's stuff. I joined Joker TNI UK because Bison was in Greece drinking Usos or whatever the hell they called it.
Uzos.
Uzos. Is that it? Okay.
Usos or whatever. I'm sure it's not Usos.
Nothing to do with the tribal chief. All right. But if Bison was drunk enough, he probably saw some chiefs. So we'll see you next week, folks. Much love and good night.